Oh, I am opening this week, which I have to tell Sarah about, so she doesn't also do an opening. But I am recording this right now because I think I just figured out how the book I just started is going to end, and I want to record this for like posterity. Right? Okay, I just started, or I didn't just start. I'm halfway through False Witness by Karen Slaughter, and I'm going to spoil the hell out of it right now, and throughout the rest of this. So if you don't want to know what happens, just skip to the next clip. But okay, so basically, the plot is two sisters, which seems to be every Karen Slaughter book. Two sisters, one of which was being sexually abused by her. She was a babysitter, and the kid who she was babysitting, his dad sexually abused her for a couple years, and he attacked her, and she killed him in defense, which is the basic plot. So that's not really spoiler. It happens in the first 10 pages. So the girl calls her sister, who's slightly older, to come help her, and she helps her. Okay. And fast forward 20 some years later, and now that little boy who she babysat is grown up and knows what happened, and he's using that as blackmail to get the sister to defend him as a lawyer and get him off for the rape charges that are against him, because he's an evil rapist, just like his dad. So yeah, and I'm like, okay, trying to figure out how this is going to resolve itself, because I never know. But okay, my theory, and I don't want to do too many spoilers, I guess. Like, you don't need the details. You just need, all you need to know is that I'm going to totally nail how they're going to resolve this, because the guy basically is just like, well, if you throw the case and get me sent to jail, like, I've got people who are going to release these tapes that my father recorded of him having sex with your little sister. And okay, my theory, without giving too many details, is that the resolution is this guy who's blackmailing the sister is going to get murdered by his own girlfriend. And I am halfway through the book, and that's my theory, and I'm 100% going to be correct. And yay for me for being correct. I'm calling it now, and I'm going to be like kind of smug about it, because I'm so sure I'm right. So yeah. And I'm going to start Casino Royale after I finish this book. Sarah was not happy with me when I told her, or when she found out I was going to read the James Bond book. She looked at me and just said no, like several times. But I'm still going to do it because the audiobooks are very short. And I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's probably going to be great. I'm probably going to love them. So yeah, I will check back later to let you know how absolutely right I am with the conclusion of False Witness by Karen Slaughter. So I want to continue this vlog with a look at what we've done with the unhaul, which I don't know if you are going to see that first or this, but this is 89 books, almost all of which are Sarah's that she's unhauling. I'm going to probably add to it, not necessarily this week, but like next week. I'm just looking at my beautiful bookshelves and seeing that you know, there's some room for improvement. I have a lot of books, like a whole lot, and I love them, but do I need all of them? Do I adore all of them? No, I need to maybe pull back. Probably not a ton, not that many, but some, you know. Anyway, here's some baby rats real quick. I'm gonna set the camera up and discuss this book some more, because I have some new thoughts. But my children saw me put the computer away, and now they want desperately for me to wait. Did you spill all your I just cleaned your cage yesterday. Are you kidding me? Wicket, what do you have to say for yourself? Because I know it was you. It's always you. Every single time. It's you every single time. Why'd you do it? This is not a terrible angle for filming. And it works because the rats. Okay. So I read another 4 chapters maybe of False Witness by Karen Slaughter. And okay, I have to ask, like, so the whole thing is this guy is, did you PM me immediately? No. Okay. This guy is blackmailing the main character to defend him in court because she's a really good lawyer, so he can get off on like a bunch of possible, one definite rape charges and like the possibility of them finding out he did more. But it's a little weird because it seems like he wants to challenge her or something. Like he's making it harder. Like he's setting himself up to look guilty on purpose because he's like getting off on the idea of like her struggling because he's evil and like, okay, sure. Like, oops. Oh no, I smudged them. That's fine. So like, I guess that's his motive, but it seems stupid. He's going to all this trouble specifically to get her to defend him, but he's literally every step of the way making himself look more guilty on purpose to hurt her. So it's like, I'm wondering if that's something on purpose or like in the effort to make him seem extra evil and like smug and stuff and to make more tension. That's the choice Karen Slaughter went with, is to just make him like pushing it. But unless, I'm hoping it gets called out because it's just like, what? It doesn't make any sense. You're doing all this so that she will get you off of these charges, but you're purposely making it harder for her. Like, you're going to go to prison. Well, he's not. He's going to actually get murdered by his girlfriend. That's what I've decided. Are you chewing on my pajamas? Can you not chew on my pajamas? I'm going to hold you up to the camera. Look at this. Do you see this? This rat, now I don't know if you've seen it, but she chewed a hole in my Golden Girls shirt. She chewed a hole in Blanche, which I don't appreciate. Yeah, go on my shoulder. You left pee on my hand. That's really rude. Wookie never pees on me. Wookie's a good baby. Hold on, I'll get her. Wookie, can I pick you up? You don't like it as much. Look at you. Oh, you're so perfect, except you don't like to be picked up. Let me pick you up. This is my baby Wookie. She never pees on me. She's a good baby. Yes, you are. And you're enjoying your little free roam. Before I wrap this up. Okay, yeah, so it just, oh, my neck. Sharp nails. Okay, yeah, it's fine. It just seems weird to me that he is purposely trying to make himself look guilty. But, I mean, it's not, like, necessarily ruining the story. I think Karen Slaughter is really good. I've read Pretty Girls by her, and I've read The Good Daughter, which I thought were really good. They're easily the most brutal books I've ever read in my entire life, but they're very well written. I do notice that she does a lot of, she copies herself a lot. So far, of the 3 books of hers that I have read, all 3 of them are about sisters, and 2 of them are about a defense lawyer, and I'm not sure why. There's probably some kind of reason for that. Like, I wonder if Karen Slaughter knows one or she was one. I don't really know anything about her, but it's just interesting that she chooses to do specifically defense attorneys. I think maybe the reason she picks defense attorneys is because it lends pretty well to a thriller. Like, they are always in some kind of absolutely vile situation defending these terrible people, and the defense lawyer thing didn't really do much for The Good Daughter other than it's the reason that the family of the main 2 characters was so hated, because the dad was a defense attorney and he got a lot of bad people off, so everyone hated him and they attacked his house and his family and stuff. I'm not giving you more food until you eat the oxbow, but yeah, so this one, she's actively defending someone. So it's, oh my God, you have 2 trees in your mouth? Oh no, oh no, I'm not giving you a 3rd. Okay, she did drop one. But yeah, I'm assuming she must know someone who's a defense attorney or something. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. Other than, just it's so weird that this guy's like, I want you to save me from prison, but also I'm going to make it super hard on you. Fine. Fine. Also, I have put off for now Starless Sea. As you can probably guess, I'm going to focus on finishing this book and Casino Royale, and I'm really hoping I get Dead Heat. No, not Dead Heat. I'm really hoping I get Fair Game by Patricia Briggs at the library, because I have all the other books ready to go, and I'd really like to burn through Alpha and Omega because I'm still waiting on Mercy Thompson, but that one I'm supposed to get sooner than fair game. So yeah, that's how it's going. I wonder if I'm going to finish False Witness tonight or tomorrow, because I admittedly am skimming through a little bit because there's just a lot of details. I don't need 5 minutes of describing how a library looks. This is all gobbledygook. This isn't interesting. I should have just kept showing the rats. Okay, well, I'll remember that next time. More rats, less talk next time. But I will check in maybe one more time tonight. So I'm starting to think I might have been wrong on my guess at the ending. The clip I just recorded apparently didn't record, so yeah, I just want to, I'll come back in with what I had to say, but maybe a little faster. I'm just emotional right now because of the book, because Karen Slaughter, she writes these books that are just so absolutely brutal with all these like people who do terrible things, that when a character pops up that is genuinely kind, it's like, it's always shocking, kind of, because it's like, oh yeah, sometimes there's nice people. So I'm at a part at the end where someone's just like being kind to this woman who's just had a miserable life, and it's very well written. I'll say, yeah, Karen Slaughter is probably the only thriller author who ever actually makes me really feel things. Like, her books are so enthralling and her characters are so fleshed out. This is my least favorite of hers that I've read, but I still, like, I'm really enjoying it. Or at least I'm interested. It's hard to tell sometimes the difference, but yeah, I always care about her characters. And I was saying in my other clip, for any story, it doesn't matter how good the plot is or how pretty the writing is. If I don't care about the characters, then I'm gonna not like it. But she always makes me care, and I appreciate that, at least. And she just puts a lot of thought into it. Clearly, everything's just very fleshed out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna rate this book highly. I'm still emotionally compromised. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot, but you know, it's worth it. Like, the only reason I could put up with, like, I went on such a long rant about Lower Olympus having sexual assault in it, and a lot of the time when Karen Slaughter puts it in her books, it seems like she could have maybe come up with a way around it, and I'm like less upset about that somehow. Maybe it's hypocritical, but I could get through it at least, just because her stories are so good, so I can deal with it. I fast forward past stuff when I'm listening on audio, but you know, yeah, it's very good, and it's worth the 20-hour audiobooks and just the awful images it conjures. So I don't know if I'm gonna check in after I finish tonight, because it's gonna be pretty late, but we'll see. So
hello, and welcome to another vlog. Sailor's out with me. Her surgery's tomorrow, so a little nervous. Very hopeful. But yes, I'm starting Dead Witch Walking today. I actually started it. I got like 2 minutes in before I stopped to do this clip because it starts with a bang. Oh my god, it's just like so problematic right off the get-go. Basically, Rachel is, so Dead Witch Walking is about a witch named Rachel, and she wants to leave her current profession, which is essentially a magical cop. They call her a runner, but she's a magical cop. She goes and brings people in, and she's not getting the kinds of runs she wants, so she wants to leave. But if you leave, they kind of take that personally, and sometimes they choose to do things about it. So she does leave, and they essentially send magical hitmen after her afterward. And it starts, she's standing on a corner wearing leather pants and a, like, it's called a halter top. I'm not sure. I don't know clothes. But basically just a strap over her boobs, and everyone thinks she's a hooker, and it's immediately like, okay, well, another time. This was written in another time, but it's down on sex workers, especially the particularly, and I'm quoting here, husky looking hooker, or suspiciously husky looking hooker. So yeah, starting off with a bang, not great, but I'll keep you updated. I've gotten to the point in Dead Witch Walking where the queer baiting starts, and it's not even well done. That's the funny thing. It's just Rachel talking a lot about how sexy Ivy is, And then she triggers Ivy's instincts, so Ivy tries to attack her, and Ivy's just like, well, you can't do these certain things because it triggers my instincts, and you know, it's not my fault if I attack you. And she's like, well, no, Ivy, you are a person. You are not an animal. It doesn't matter if Rachel triggers your instincts. You should be capable of controlling yourself. And it's, oh boy. I just read the line, smiling like the blonde she wished she was. What does that mean? What does that mean? This is a nitpick, but it bothers me a lot because it's me. She turns herself into, I believe, a mink because she gets the wrong fur, and it's like the spell says can safely be adapted for any rodents. Minks aren't rodents, they are weasels. She also makes a mistake later with rats. Takes 2 seconds of research. But okay, so I haven't gotten there yet, but I remember it, so I can talk about it. In this book, there is a thing called like the rat fights. So basically it's like dog fighting, but with rats. And Rachel gets entered into them as a mink. Here are all the reasons why that would not work. Starting with, I imagine most of the rats there are domestic rats, because who wants to like troll through the streets looking for normal rats? And while wild rats are pretty large most of the time, not all the time. Like roof rats are fairly small. If you're talking about your average run-of-the-mill wild rat, they can be pretty large, but still around the same size as a domestic rat. So like a male domestic rat is around 700-800 grams if they're a big boy. So with that in mind, a mink is like twice their size. It would be no competition no matter how deadly the rat is, first of all. Second of all, it just wouldn't make a great spectator sport in an arena style venue because rats are small, again, and they're also extremely good climbers. You see this lamp right here that is just a straight pole? Rats can climb that. They can jump. Hey, stop chewing on my shelf. They can jump about 2 feet in the air. They can climb things like that. And if you have 2 rats fighting each other, the one that is losing, or the one who's not the aggressor, because one has to start it, even if you have 2 aggressive rats, one has to start it. Once one gets hurt, they're going to bolt. They're fast, they can jump high, they can climb. Shame her for chewing on my shelf. Also, their bite, I've seen people whose rats have bitten clean through their finger and done nerve damage. They're not a good pet to like encourage aggression in, because like, yeah, a dog can hurt you, but a dog also trusts you. Whereas if you encourage a rat's aggression and breed for aggression, they will attack you every single time you hold them. You will not be able to pick them up without getting seriously injured. I have been bitten twice in my 12 years of owning rats, and I have scars from both of them. One was so deep it didn't even bleed for like a solid 10 seconds. It's not fun. Okay, and then like just visually, if you have a huge arena, there's no guarantee that the rats are even going to approach each other. So you have to have a small arena with very high walls, and when you have 2 small animals, it's just, the logistics don't match up. And then rats can chew through things very quickly if motivated. They have very strong incisors. So yeah, it's just, it's not likely. I know I'm ranting about it, and it doesn't even matter for a book I consider to be a guilty pleasure considering how problematic it is. But I don't know. I just don't think it was thought through. And I don't think she did any research on rats. You would have so many escapees. So many escapees. Not to mention, if you're breeding for aggression, like, you have to save the females, and if you breed too many times, their lifespan is dramatically decreased. Not that people care, like, pet store animals come from rodent mills, and if you know what a puppy mill is, that's what a rodent mill is, but hundreds of animals instead of dozens. So yeah, it's, I know it's nitpicky. I know it's nitpicky. But also, you could have done a little research. Maybe thought about the logistics. Okay, I lied. I have one more thing to say about the mink thing. Also, rats are natural prey to things like weasels, such as ferrets, and sometimes mink. And mink are carnivores. They eat meat. And yet, in this book, Rachel, as a mink, eats carrots. I get that Rachel is a human, but as a mink, the carrot would not be great. Alright, as I said earlier, tomorrow is Sailor's surgery. And I've just prepped for it. Oh, for her return home mostly. But I thought I'd go ahead and share everything that I did with you. So this is the carrier she'll be going in, probably spending a lot of the day in. So I emptied it out. I sanitized it, I cleaned it, I made sure it wasn't dusty, and I put this towel in here because I could put bedding in here. I have a paper pellet bedding that would work, but I find the towel is a little bit easier to clean for like one trip. I don't do fleece in all of my cage. Like I do have some on my, sorry, Dax is right here because I'm talking. I do have some on my shelves, but the bottom is not fleece. There is loose substrate. But yeah, for surgery and sanitary purposes, I do have a towel in here. And then this will be her recovery cage. I cannot put her in that cage because she'll climb, and since she'll have stitches on her stomach, she could rip them. So I have this cage, which I have these for safety because otherwise she could quite easily escape. And again, I have a towel for sanitary purposes. It's really easy to clean a towel while they're in recovery. And then I have a little house for her to feel safe. Her food will go over here. I'll put that in tomorrow morning. And then I'll fill this up with fresh water tomorrow morning as well. And then the only other thing I have is a bag of food for after surgery. They'll give this to her, and as long as she's eating, all should be good. So yeah, that is my surgery prep.
Have you ever seen that clip from Arrested Development where Jason Bateman, whose character name I can't remember, has that bag that he grabs, and I think it says something like dead cat on it, and then he opens it up and looks in, and then he says, I don't know what I expected. I just lived that, not with a dead cat, but I started Casino Royale, and it is so racist, and it is so sexist, and it's weird to be reading a book where your protagonist is horrendously racist and sexist, and it's just not, no one cares. Like, everyone's like that. No one cares. Like, that's just how he is, and it's fine. But I don't want to really repeat a lot of the things said in this, especially the racist stuff, but I will say, for the sexist thing, he found out, like, a woman's going to get sent on this mission with him, and he's just like, oh, women, they have so much baggage, and you have to constantly take care of them and coddle them. And it's like, every man I've ever seen get the sniffles has been bedridden for no less than 3 days. Okay? So, like, don't step to me with women have baggage, because I've seen a grown man in his 40s ask his wife to call him out of work because he's got a cold. Okay? I just want to say that. Okay, back to the book.
Hello.
Oh, sure.
I did no reading today, but I did drop Sailor off for her surgery.
It's only 9 in the morning. Of course you didn't do reading today.
This is normally like my prime reading time.
That's disgusting. I shouldn't be awake right now. I went to sleep at 4:30. Oh, I read an entire book last night. I read and I finished Fair Game by Patricia Briggs. What did you do?
I slept.
I wish I slept.
And this morning I did a bunch of rat stuff.
There's rat stuff right here in front of us.
Cappie joined me for the rat stuff.
Yeah.
I don't actually know why she did that.
Because I'm your friend, and I got Egg McMuffins, and that was not the only reason, but it certainly was a reason.
So yeah, we'll go pick up Sailor. Well, I'll get a call between 1 and 2, and we'll go pick her up afterward, provided everything goes well.
Yeah, everything's gonna be great. I'm not tired at all. And I don't regret telling our friend that I would get up at 6 o'clock or something next week or something to do the thing that we got with the other one. That was a good decision.
Not next week. Week after that.
Sick.
I'll update you later.
Oh my god. I can't believe I figured that out. Holy shit. What is this?
Hello, it's been hours since I've updated you. Sailor's back. She's fine. She's also sleeping, so I'm not gonna bother her right now. I'll try to get some footage of her tomorrow. But yeah, I've given her pain meds and she's just resting after her very hard day. And it'll probably still be a little while before I know if it's worked and she's no longer aggressive, because she has to heal before I can try intros again. And I don't actually know if she has staples or stitches, so it's an unknown amount of time before I'll be safe. It is Wednesday morning. Hi, Violet. I have Sailor in her little hospital cage over there. She's doing really great. Her incision looks amazing. I don't think she's messing with it, but she's moving a lot more than I would like, so who actually knows? I checked it this morning and she wasn't bleeding or anything though, so she's okay. I have Pilot down here. I have everyone, well, not everyone, I have 5 of them out. That cage that's closed is a cage of 8. They're not out. But I am continuing Dead Witch walking. Hi. Hi, you wanna come here? What you doing, baby? She's giving me kisses, that's what she's doing. But yeah, I'm continuing Dead Witch walking. That's that's what this clip's supposed to be saying, is I am continuing with my reading. I'm distracted. I have another nitpick in, because you're here, you get to hear it. Rachel has a fish. He's a beta, I believe. And he's living in a fishbowl. Fish bowls are terrible contraptions that do more damage to fish than good. Fish need filters, otherwise they're just breathing their own piss and shit. Not to mention, there's no airflow, so it's stale water that they're living in. They can't get enough oxygen. And bowls in particular are bad because the curvature confuses them and hurts them. Don't put fish in fish bowls. Alright, so I'm at the part where they're at the rat fights. And so she's at the door and she says that the high-pitched squeaking of rats is something she can hear. Well, why do people think rats constantly make noise if they're squeaking? It's all because they're fighting or protesting being touched. Like, they don't just squeak to squeak. Like, I know in movies they usually have sound effects where animals are just constantly making noise, but like, they are a prey animal. Mercy? Oh no, that's Merritt. Merritt, you're a prey animal. Humdrum here? Yeah. I don't know if you can see her, but she's right there. They're prey animals. They're not going to make a lot of noise because making noise attracts predators. They only squeak when they are in pain, or in domesticated rats' cases, they will squeak to protest something. Like if you pick them up too fast, they squeak. It's to protest it. And if they're being groomed, they'll, like, power groomed by one of their siblings, they'll squeak just to protest it. But they don't just sit in a cage by themselves and squeak. They don't. And I know, y'all don't care. You're just like, geez, she's talking a lot about animals, but that's not how it works. I do like that he gave the mean Rachel a... Are you chewing on my desk? I do like that he gave mean Rachel a hammock, though. That's a nice touch. She was in a small wire cage, which, like, he didn't want her to be comfortable, so whatever. But I do appreciate that he gave her a hammock. That's good. Oh, and in case you're wondering if I have any other thoughts about the book in general, no new thoughts. The only thing is, I find it interesting. I've heard a lot of people talk about Marguerite. I don't remember her last name. Gavin? Is it Gavin? The narrator for the books, and how good she is, and how they always want her to narrate. And there's one book in the series where they couldn't get her because she was busy, and they actually redid the narration later because people wanted her back so badly. And I just think she's okay. Like, she's not bad by any means. She does, like, interesting voices for everyone, but the cadence she uses for Jinx in particular, I do not care for.
So yeah, I just find that interesting. That's my only new thought. Okay, so the guy who's running the rat fights is just like, we've fought badgers and snakes before. People are so under the impression that snakes are like the apex predator. They are not. Like, if you feed live to your snake, there's a good chance the rat's gonna turn around and fuck that snake up. And in this kind of arena where you just dump a snake into the middle of a pit, okay, that snake's not gonna eat. It's just not. Even if it's starving, it's not going to eat because it's going to be terrified. It's going to be looking for escape, someplace to hide. Snakes can go so long without eating that even if it's starving, its first thought is not going to be, oh, hey, there's a rat I can eat. If you put it in an arena where there's a ton of noise, it's probably like either too hot or too cold. It's going, especially if it's too cold, oh my God, it's not going to eat. It just isn't. Stop thinking snakes are apex predators. They are opportunistic and they can be very, very picky. And if you starve them, they're not going to necessarily eat. They might have like a small meal, but they're not going to just attack a rat because a rat's there and it's hungry. Like, snakes only eat like once a week, maybe. I know, it doesn't matter. I know, and it's so nitpicky. Having any kind of knowledge about animals is not fun when reading books that involve animals.
I'm in the process of my book on haul. I was pulling stuff, and like with great shame, I was trying to make room so I can fit my Scott Pilgrim and my Ancient Mage's Bride on the shelf. And it was motivating me, and I wasn't getting rid of stuff I really wanted. I was just like, well, I really want to make room, so what do I not care about? So I pulled like The Brilliant Book of Doctor Who from 2012 because it's the season I hate.
Yeah.
And I pulled, do you remember when Victoria Schwab started coming out with graphic novels, and I bought that one?
Yeah, I do.
It was like the prequel with,
I remember it was like so hard for you to find.
It was. I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and the cover is absolutely stunning. And I read the comic only a year ago, and I couldn't tell you, gun to my head, a single thing that happened in it. So I'm gonna unhaul it. Thinking about asking my sister if she wanted some, but I don't know. She's got such different. She's like 16. She's half my age. So
I know it's like a separate thing from the series, but if you have no connection to the series, I can't imagine you'll enjoy the comics very much.
I was gonna ask her if she wanted other stuff I was unhauling, because I'm also unhauling my encyclopedia of Muppet characters, because that constantly outdates itself. And as much as I love and would cherish Kermit if he were my husband, I don't need an encyclopedia of all the Muppet characters.
By the way, in case you guys are wondering where Sailor is, she's getting some water.
She is.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's up to you, but especially with the Victoria Schwab comic, I don't think Rachel would get anything out of that, because without the writing, you really are just left with a basic story.
Sorry, Victoria Schwab. I'm sure you're super cool, but so just pulling stuff off the shelves. I pulled that. I pulled the Victoria Schwab comic. I have a lot of books that are Greek myths, and I have that leather-bound one I got from Barnes & Noble, and it's like, I don't need that, so pulled that, because I still have the really beautiful hardcover and like the textbook my mom got me like 10 years ago that's just Greek myths, so I got rid of that. And I did make room for my Scott Pilgrim and Ancient Mage's Bride, which I'm happy about. So, yeah.
In case y'all are wondering, I think when this comes out, the huge book haul won't be out yet, but the one you see after this clip that's titled like getting rid of 90 books or unhauling 90 books or whatever, that's not the unhaul she's talking about.
Yeah, like Sarah did an unhaul of about 90 books in which I tossed a couple books in there, and then as soon as we were done filming, I was like,
she got the bug.
It's because like I had this weird thought, and this is going to sound terrible, and I don't want to be insensitive because like that's not what I mean, and God help me, okay, but like, have you ever had that thought of like, oh man, if my house burned down, it would be absolutely terrible, but also like freeing, only in the sense that you would like lose all your, I would never wish my house to burn down, but I've like always had that thought of like, oh man, if I just didn't have any of my stuff, how would I feel? And a lot of the time I'm just like, I don't hate that. So I'm trying to get rid of some stuff that I don't think that I need.
Yeah, like, as you guys see this room quite a bit, I don't have very much stuff, as you can see.
Mostly just rats.
My walls are pretty blank. It is mostly just rats, and I'm cool with that.
I mean, I have so many toys and so much stuff in my closet. As a person who just had to frantically move, I don't want to have to...
Don't climb!
Man.
Stop climbing, you have stitches! Madam!
Stop.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Stop. She's like,
Could you please?
I want to kill my siblings.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to be realistic. I also, like, have this measuring tool of sorts of when I'm looking at my books, trying to decide what I want to keep. It's like, if I lost all of this in a fire, would I replace it with the insurance money? And a lot of it, honestly, a lot of what I have, I wouldn't bother. And, like, I feel like if that's how I feel, I should take that stuff and then get rid of it so someone else can have it.
Yeah, my priorities have shifted so much in the last few years. Like, we live in Arizona, which does have wildfires. Thankfully, where we live, knock on wood, we haven't had a serious one. But living in Arizona, you do have the thought of, what happens if I do end up losing everything? And it used to be I was terrified of losing all my books, and I'd be like, I don't know if I could replace those. I'd be so devastated. And now I'm just like, let the books burn, get my animals out.
Yeah, and like the more realistic thing that like we deal with daily is like Arizona's very dusty.
Yes.
And I don't like dusting. I'm allergic to it. So like maybe if I have, ma'am, stop. If you need help, I will help you, but do not hurt yourself. I just don't want to deal with like honestly. It just comes down to I don't want to
books
deal with
attract
is
dust.
that pointed at my face?
Yeah, it is.
I can't tell.
Books also attract dust, like more so than other things. Because, like, out of everything I own, which admittedly I don't have too much, but of everything I own, what is the dustiest is my bookshelves. Do you want to up Wicket?
I just don't really want to deal with having all this stuff. Plus, like, this is a terrible reason, but yeah, like, Ryan has so little stuff compared to me, my boyfriend, and when we move in together, I'm going to have, like, all this stuff and it's going to overwhelm his. And, like, he's so grumpy when it comes to the Funkos already.
You can do it, Wicket.
I'm already going to have to get him to approve of all the nude pictures I have hanging on my wall.
They're gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. Pandora Young, check her out. She's on Etsy. Her pictures are the most affordable of especially that caliber art. I'll shell for Pandora. She's really sweet. But, oh my God, like, I want art so bad. And she's the only artist who I can afford. And she's, like, so good. Oh, I love her. She's having a sale right now.
Oh no.
And I was just like, oh man, I could, but I'm literally trying to get rid of stuff right now. What am I kidding? I'm gonna get more of her stuff, but I'm waiting till we watch or read Dune because I want to know if I should get that gorgeous print she has.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you know where my rat went?
Which one?
Wicked. Are you down here, Wicked? Where did you go?
Wicket.
There you are. And I don't do much book talk. I'm halfway through Dead Heat, but I don't like have opinions to I'm just enjoying it. I don't have like opinions. And then I started I started The Push by sorry, give me a moment. I wasn't prepared. Ashley Audrain, and it is, and when I say this, I'm not exaggerating, identical to Baby Teeth.
Oh my God.
Down to the kid is evil and awful and with mom, but perfect in front of dad, and the dad doesn't believe mom, and it's like, that's not true. That wouldn't happen.
I don't know if you ever saw it, but do you remember that horror movie, The Orphan?
I did see it.
Okay, I also saw it, and it was terrible, and I predicted everything that happened, which my mom doesn't
love that movie.
My mom does not believe I predicted everything.
You predict everything with everything. You predicted the end of, like, documentaries.
But yeah, that's what makes all these books make me think I was just the orphan.
I don't necessarily mind the concept, but my problem is I'm supposed to, like, if I had a baby with my current boyfriend and she was perfect with me, but I came home and he was like, she was a terror, she hurt me, I wouldn't not believe him. Like, he's the adult. But all these husbands don't believe their wife, and it's always like, we were perfect and happy and in love before we had a baby, then we had a baby and it was terrible. Now the baby's awful and the husband doesn't believe the mom, and somehow the baby is like not magically, but like magically unbelievably smart, like smart enough to act a certain way around dad, smart enough to like come up with like these like mousetrap-esque contraptions to hurt the mom. And it's like, this baby is 3.
Oh my god.
And it's like going through her, I think she's going to be older before we like get to the story proper, but I'm halfway through it. And it's just basically, it's not like narrative necessarily, it's like telling you what happened. And I hate that. So it doesn't feel quite like a novel. It's just not very good. It's pretty short. It's like 8 hours. And this is such a small thing, but I thought the main characters were people of color, and I found out they were white, and I was like, just another white person story. Genuinely, because I was just like, really? I was surprised. I don't know. But not that I necessarily want to read a story where a black woman is being tortured by her child, but I was just like, another white book onto the pile.
Hello, it's Thursday. I'm about to do stuff in the rat cage. Obviously. Still in the middle of Dead Witch Walking. I'm hoping to finish it today. Forgot how long this book is. Like, a lot happens in it, too. It's not, like, wasted pages. It's just, like, a lot of events are happening, which isn't bad at all. Sailor is right there. She's doing so well. Her incision looks really good. I think I'm going to put her back in this cage tomorrow. And then I'll start intros next Wednesday, so wish me luck. I forgot in this series that the whole supernatural beings coming out was started by a genetically engineered tomato that made a bunch of humans sick, and now humanity doesn't like anything tomato-based. And I think if the last, year and a half, a little more than that, has taught us anything, it's that most people would still think it was a hoax, and that they would still eat tomatoes because nothing's going to stop them from doing exactly what the fuck they want to do. So, unfortunately, she didn't have a global pandemic to teach her how humans would react.
There's currently a rat crawling down my back. If I wince, that is why. Good news is I finally finished Dead Witch Walking. I'll probably give it 4 stars. The ways it aged poorly, it aged really poorly, so like go in knowing that if you care to read it. But otherwise, I found it very enjoyable. Again, a lot happens in these books. Like there's so much going on, and that's something I really enjoy. I don't really like long drawn out scenes necessarily, but nothing feels rushed either. It just takes its time, gives you a lot, explores the situations, and I enjoy that. So overall, more enjoyable. I know I ranted a lot about it, but still.
Mother, please come give us treats. Mother. No. Mother's working. The second I hit record, Wicket stopped power grooming Wookie. She had Wookie pushed up against these bars in that little hammock, and she was like licking the back of her neck or something, and Wookie just had like her hand up, like in the Titanic, but like sadder, and she was just like, "Get me out of here." Wicket feels no remorse. Wicket, where's your remorse? Look at this child. Wookie. Hello. I haven't recorded in 3 days. I'm doing the wrap up with Sarah holding the camera. Okay, what did I read this week? I can pull it up and I can say the author's names. Watch me be professional. I just finished The Push by Page Loading. I just finished The Push by Ashley Audrain. Okay. It was like Baby Teeth, but better, but also still not very good. It had the same thing of no one believed the adult woman saying that her child was... Okay, am I boring? But no one believed the adult woman saying her child was awful, including the husband. He straight up didn't believe her, and I wished he would die, but he didn't. And without spoilers, the book ended in a way that's like, oh, I know why you ended it right there, but I want to see what happens next, but like not in a, ooh, I want to see what happens next. That's a good ending. But like in a, you're frustrating me, and this would have been interesting, and this should have been the climax kind of way. So would I recommend it? Maybe. If you have time to waste, then yeah. Okay, and then I also finished Dead Heat, book 4 in Alpha and Omega by Patricia Briggs. I enjoyed it. The least of all of them so far, but I still did enjoy it. And then I've started, is it Brightburn? Or Burn Bright? I've started that. I'm already into it. They've talked about Mercy a lot. So I'm just like keen to start that series. So I had a fairly okay reading week. I didn't progress on Casino Royale, but I'm going to.
Why?
I'm going to because I said so on the thing. I said I was going to do it.
Sailor, don't.
I said I was going to read it, so I'm going to read at least Casino Royale. It's only a 5-hour audiobook.
All right.
And then that's it so far. I would recommend Alpha and Omega. Would not necessarily recommend The Push. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, and I'm sorry for who I am as a person and how I operate. But have a nice week or day or whatever. Bon voyage.